Please hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell. Thank you. So proud of the sidewalk and how pretty it turned out. I've got to get mums for this one and mums for that one. Got to do something with those. And I guess I'm going to have to give these up. They're beginning to look a little scraggly. I may just leave this though. I just love it. Alright, these are only $2.98. Alright, so if we put like a variety of white and yellow and purple, and if we could find some bronze ones, that'd be nice. Let's see, how much is it going to take to fill those? I'd say at least about 6 in each one. So we got mums and crotons and cyclamen and some pansies. Anxious to get them put in. We'll say goodbye to the Mexican heather and the periwinkles. And we'll put some mums in there. And I forgot to buy enough pansies for these, so I'll have to go back. I sure hate to dig these up, pull these up, because they still are flowering, but we're expecting a frost and they'll be dead by the weekend anyway. So they gotta come out. Clean all these leaves out of here. And I'm gonna leave this creeping Jenny, because I have had creeping Jenny to survive here in the south. I'm going to kind of trim the bottoms off because it looks kind of dead down at the bottom, but it's just so pretty in a pot. And I've got some English ivy growing here, variegated English ivy growing there. I'm leaving that in there. And this, not sure what that's called, but I'll figure it out, but I'm gonna leave it too. It'll be on the back of the planter, so if it dies, I can easily pull it out without any problem. Stir this around a little, and I'm gonna put some fresh potting soil in here. I'm not sure I really need it, but I'm going to. I'm going to break those roots up a little bit, just so they don't continue to grow around in a circle. We're going to do that a different way. Really need something taller in the back, but I don't have it. So, oh, yes I do. So now I remembered that I bought this croton yesterday. I had forgotten about that. Wish I'd have bought more, but, well, they didn't have more. So I'm gonna put that in the back, and it should grow up to 5 feet high. I don't think we want it 5 feet high, but I don't think it's gonna grow that tall. I've never had one grow that tall. So let's rethink this. Move a few things around. I'm gonna pull this forward, put this back there. Do y'all ever do this? It's like rearranging a room where you just kind of, oh, there's some good dirt. Where you just kind of put things in and then you think, I don't know about that. That doesn't look all that great. Now, these won't get much taller than this, but this will. The croton in the back will get taller than these eventually. Maybe not before the rehearsal dinner, but can't help that. Now I've got some pansies that we're going to use. Gosh, I'm sorry about that light. Put these pansies right here in the front because they'll be small and they'll sort of be leggy, and they've got yellow in them too. The ones that I bought have some yellow in them. Got them all in there. So I put, actually, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did I do with the other one? There it is. Okay, so always plant in odd numbers because the human mind divides even numbers up into separate entities. So if you plant in odd numbers, the human mind doesn't divide it up. It's all one entity, if that makes any sense. Now we got to do this one. All right, so there are each one of the pansies and each one of these. And the croton in the back, the creeping Jenny in the front. Whatever that weird stuff is right there. And these are the front pots. See if I can get a better view of them. Excuse all my trash. These pots have the same thing in them, except they've got Mexican heather. They got a little bit of Dusty Miller that has survived and a little bit of creeping Jenny right down there. Not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. Probably just gonna leave some of it. We'll see. And since this is still looking pretty good, I'm gonna leave it in here, and it may just, sometimes it winters over okay. Other times it doesn't, but it should be okay a week and a half from now when we have a lot of guests, and then I can always replace it if it starts dying off. Break that up just like we did the other one. Get down in there. I think we're gonna have to add some more soil to this though. Seems to be a little on the low side. I think we're gonna put the white in the middle because if I put the purple in the middle, the purple's right behind it. I'd like to have a little bit of a contrast. I want them kind of in a triangle. I don't want them up like toy soldiers. I don't want them all in a line, so I'm sort of backing them, putting them in a little bit of a, I'm gonna dig this and stick it right back here. It's probably not going to live. It is an annual here, but that one was not planted this year. It came up from last year. We'll plant our pansies. Fresh back there. Those leaves out of there. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Down in there good. This is lantana that's grown up around it. It's beginning to lose its summer life. Sometimes around here lantana stays hardy and sometimes it dies in the wintertime. Maybe it's just according to how cold it gets. Some winters we hardly have any cold and other winters it's terrible. So, well, it's never really terrible in Mississippi. Okay, so we do have a little creeping Jenny in there. And we have that one little stick of Dusty Miller and then our Mexican Heather. So we're gonna leave the Mexican Heather and we'll leave the Dusty Miller. And then we're gonna put our mums and whatnot all over there like we did before. And I don't really know what color each one of them is. Once they get to growing, it really won't matter. All right, and we're gonna put 7 across the front. Break that up a little. So I think that looks a little better than it did to begin with. Lady likes it. I just love this little walkway. It's my favorite part of the whole place. It's just so pretty and cozy and shady. And so, even though not a ton of people see it, I like to plant this little spot right here. So, that's what I'm gonna do next. I like to plant this little spot and the spot I already passed right there. I don't spend a lot of money or effort, but it kind of is the forgotten spot and it makes it look like it was remembered. So all I'm going to do right here is just put about 3 little pansies. And I know pansies are supposed to be in full sun, but this gets a lot of dappled sunlight, so it might be enough for them. We're going to try it anyway. I usually in the summertime and the spring I put impatiens in these. And they do beautifully because it's just a shady area, but we'll see. We're gonna try them here. This is Mississippi after all. Beautiful pansies. Just a nice little shining spot on this little walkway. These pots are on the deck, and this is what they look like. Their flowers have all died, and we have another one down here. I see someone has put a broken statue in. Oh, she lost her head. Anyway, that's a periwinkle. And then these little pots back here, I think is where I'm gonna put that cyclamen. I've got to find something to cover these ugly blue barrels in. what they look like before we clean them up at all. I love those big pots. Let's add some potting soil to this. Need a lot, apparently. I may have to go back and get my spoon. Maybe not. Nah. And I'm gonna put the mum, since I'm only putting one mum in here, I'm gonna put it toward the back. And I'm a big fan of yellow mums. I think they're super eye-catching and they just really are really pretty. They show up very well. And this is used mostly at night. This deck is. So, even though white might show up better, I still like to, I stuck with the yellow. Not sure what this is. It's fish food. Alright, we've got, obviously, some of this growing out of here. I might try for some more, but I don't know. It's going to be so pretty. Looks a lot better. As you can see, we have variegated English ivy growing out of this pot. It's not very much of it. I'm going to go to the front and I'm going to pull some of that up. I'll plant a little more in this, and then I'll have some for that one over on the other side as well, because there's nothing in that one. And you can see how this just grows and grows and grows, so it won't hurt it at all to come up missing a few. Break these up a little bit. I'm just going to put it right here where I can get to it. I don't want it to hamper the growth of it. It's kind of a difficult situation here. Three here. That's 1, 2. Down over a little. And 3. And 5 on the front. Ivy will root off of these little shoots coming out of there. If it's in the ground, like that little stuff like right there, I don't know if you can see it or not, it will root off of that. So if you stick that down in there pretty good, cover it up. It really doesn't even have to be covered, but if you want to get a good start on it, you can cover it. It will start growing. And that's what we want. And then go back and do the same thing over on this one. Since the cyclamen is definitely partial sun, I'm going to put it right here. I don't know yet what else I'm going to put with it. I may just put some ivy in here. For the moment, I'm going to put it right in the center. And then we'll need some more stuff because it doesn't grow very big, but I was thinking about just maybe making it the star of the show because it's so pretty. And then I'll come back to it when I find something else to plant in there. Just look at that. Look at the little, what's getting ready to bloom. Is that not just gorgeous? So pretty. It's like an orchid. It's just beautiful. By the way, this is called a laser snow ridge purple cyclamen. It's beautiful for fall planting. Here's this one, now that we got it planted, and there's that one. Alright. Put just a little bit of dirt in here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and dig my hole because I may be displacing more dirt than I have room for. Gosh, that's going to fill that up really nicely. I just love fall planting. Alright, I've got enough to put one purple one here. Hopefully it'll fill out enough. This isn't a real big pot. We're going to try it. Those up. Dig out a hole. I've already put some potting mix in here. And just like I said, just like when you move furniture in your house, I may decide to add something or take something away, but for now that's what I've got. There's just not a whole lot to choose from. And this has been about a month since we planted them. And these are out by the gazebo. As you come around going toward the deck, if you remember, we just planted a few pansies and some mums in this one. The pansies hadn't really started blooming, and I think it's probably because they're not getting enough sun. This one over here gets a little more sun and it's got some blooms on it. But they'll be okay, I'm sure. Now we're going up to the deck. And there's the cyclamen. Gosh, aren't they pretty? That's just a beautiful flower. And it's doing beautifully right there. And then here are the planters that we planted. Even got a little bee on that one. And they're doing great right here. There's the other one. These are doing really well. Aren't they pretty? And our English ivy is blooming so nicely. Not blooming, growing. It's not blooming. Aren't they pretty? This is my favorite little spot I was telling you about. And no, they are not blooming, but they're growing like crazy. Maybe they'll start blooming. This one is, but as you can see, it's getting a little more sun than that other one does. I love pansies. We'll follow Lady right on up to where we planted the hanging basket. And there it is. And then we've got these that have the pansies and the mums and the croton back here, and it hasn't grown as high as I thought it would. But we still have a pretty pot. Croton kind of peeks out from behind it, and the cool thing is when you come down the stairs, the first thing you see is the croton. So maybe it did work out well. There's the other one. And the blooms on this one are really not doing too well. But they will. They'll come back out. And that Mexican heather in the front pots is still blooming. So I'm glad we left that alone. And then those up on the porch, those pansies are doing real well. But the creeping Jenny's not doing so well. This is the clawfoot bathtub with mums in it, and it's got knockout drift in front of it that's still blooming. So pretty. And when I tell you that the knockout roses are still blooming, you see them. This is November. Aren't they pretty though? They're really cutting up. These are more Mexican petunias. In the summertime, they're just full of purple blooms, and that one way over there is full of white blooms. There's always something to see. Thanks for coming to Monte Cristo.